Yeah. I think so. Really, 41 people. واحد الله look. 62.
Cheap plastic, probably.
You've already got the cardboard on there, man.
Just hold that for me. Is that plastic too? Middle? They should have some. Is the truck here? Is there a truck here? Should be on the truck. I like to put plastic on top so the water doesn't.
On top of it, one second. I'll bring it up.
On top of this.
On top of the slab, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the first one. What the second one?
They've already put one. They put on the bottom one already.
Isn't that cardboard on the sand?
Oh, this is the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
second
this
one.
is the second, second one.
But still, if there is a plastic, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Min, who's done that?
Grandfather.
I spoke to them 5 minutes ago. They were just on the Ingura Road. The traffic's bad, as you can appreciate. So they're still at least 15, 20 minutes off.
15, 20 minutes, right?
Just so mate. Everything's going well. It's all clean. No. I'll fix it up. Make it here. Okay? Yeah. Should be all done. Yeah. Where are you now? Right. It's just a funeral card. But there's hundreds of cars you have to. No one asked me. If they'd asked me, I would have. You don't live last minute. What is it?
Given that we have a 10 minutes, 15 minutes, inshallah we'll say a few words bi'idhnillahi tabaraka wa ta'ala. We'll just talk about some of the sunnah. That one of the things that when they go to bury the dead, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy upon their souls.
Amen.
One of the things that is very important is reflection. So when you follow the body, that the person behind it should be reflective and thinking and in deep thought. That this is one of the things that our scholars have recommended, a very profound recommendation, because the reality is this is our destination. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, every soul shall taste death. And no matter where you are, no matter what you do, no matter what you achieve in life, this ultimately, your destination is here. Your destination, you'll have to return back to your Lord, your Maker, and your Creator, your Sustainer. This is a reality for all. Death serves as a reminder. Death is a destroyer of all pleasures. No matter what pleasure you fulfill in this world, death is an end to that. Subhanallah, death is like an ambush. You have so many things going on in your life and death just seizes you. This is death. It's like an ambush, like a mirsad. Wallahi, we have a purpose in this world, and that purpose is to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what it's all about. It's about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you imagine that you ventured throughout your whole life and you did not know your Maker and Creator? And many people do this. Many people, they forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said that this world is cursed and what's in it is cursed. What he meant was that anything that takes you away from your Maker and Creator is cursed. There is good in this world, there's no doubt about that. But anything that deviates you from that trajectory of getting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a bad thing. It's all about getting to Him. And it's all about removing from your heart that attachment to this world, or it serves as an obstacle to meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, He loves His creation. He loves His creation. And this soul that has passed, Fathi, rahimahullah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive him and accept him. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to look upon him with the eyes of rida, because indeed, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at him with the eyes of rida, then punishment will definitely not follow. But this has to come and serve as well a purpose to us. We're moving forward. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, "Kun fi dunya ka'annaka 'abiru sabil." Be in this world, as though you were a stranger, a passerby, as though you were passing through one door and exiting through another. In another narration, the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he spoke about an individual who was on travel and he stopped for some shade and then he moved on. And that was just an example of this world. Such a very, very short time. A very short time. And we have a limited time in this world. We cannot let that go to waste. And the Sahaba, like the likes of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he would come to places like this. He would come to the grave and he would cry. He would be overtaken by tears and they would ask him why. He said, that is the first stage. That is the first stage. That is the first stage. And if that is not good, what will come after that will not be good. And so your whole life, your preparation, what is it about? What is it for? It's for this time. It's for this moment. Your whole life is a learning experience for this moment. Wallahi, don't waste your life. Don't waste your time. Every single day that you delay is another wasted day. And it will lead you to another wasted day. And in the end, when you're on your deathbed, you'll say, Ya laytani, I wish I could go back and reverse everything that I did and make use of my life. One person, he said to me that my life is about realizing what I didn't achieve. What I didn't achieve. And I know I can achieve so much. I said, but be careful, because in life you can achieve so much but not have purpose. This whole life and your very existence is hinged upon La ilaha illallah. That's why you exist. That's why we exist. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we know through the hadith that if all of the creation were on one side of the scale and La ilaha illallah were on the other side of the scale, La ilaha illallah would outweigh. That's your purpose. That's the very reason you and I exist. We don't exist to oppress one another. We don't exist to assault one another. We don't exist to abuse one another. We don't exist to commit corruption and fasad on this earth. The Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam did not come, his purpose was not here to make you a gangster. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam did not come to make you a thug. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam did not come upon this earth. His purpose on this earth was not to make your life or for you to use your life in vain. That was not the Prophet's purpose, alayhi salatu wasalam. The Prophet, he said, one of the purposes for which he came said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمُ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I came to perfect your moral conduct. I came to make you the best that you can be. These are the purposes for which the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam gave. So we need to make use of this. Why did he come for? Why did he sacrifice? You know, he went to Ta'if. You just listen to this story. He went to Ta'if in the year that he lost his wife and in the year that he lost his uncle. This is a 50-year-old man in the same year, 50 years old. And he ventured 50 miles on foot and he went to Ta'if. Alayhi salatu wasalam. A 50-year-old man walking more than 50 miles on foot to what? To give the message. To give the message of La ilaha illallah. When he got there, 3 brothers ridiculed him. They ridiculed him. And he left that place with the young simpletons peddling the Prophet, hurling stones at him until he bled. Zayd got in the way and he was hit in the head with a stone. The Prophet cast him aside and said, leave me be. And they went until they got into the garden of Ibn Rabi'ah. Anyway, later, many years later, Aisha radiallahu anha said, she asked the Prophet, what was your most difficult day you've ever endured? And he said, that was that day. And he recounted the story of Ta'if. He said, I was confused and did not know where I was. I was confused and did not know where I was. And look what he was doing. He was propagating the message, preaching the message. He sacrificed. And this life, what is it about? What is it about? No matter what heights you exceed, no matter what heights you reach, whether it's in achieving the whole wealth of this world or achieving the mastery of thuggery, no matter what you achieve, one day you'll be asked. One day you'll be in this place. Wallahi, one day you'll be in this place. This is exactly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. One day a person came to the Prophet and he said to the Prophet, he crushed up some bones and he threw it in front of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. He threw it in the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And he said to the Prophet, he said, Man yuhyi al-'idhama wa hiya ramim. Who will revive these bones after they've withered away and they've become nothing? And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, as in the ayah, قُلْ يُحْيِيهَا الَّذِي أَنْشَأَهَا أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. Say to him, Ya Muhammad, that the one who gave life to him the first time will give life once again. This is our reality. This is where we're going. There's no escape from this reality. You only get one chance, and you know what? You build upon this chance, you're hereafter. You get one chance, and you have an eternity that is built upon this world. An eternity. When you think about it, wallahi, sometimes it's perplexing. That this dunya, all I get is one chance, and then you get an akhirah either of reward or either of punishment. And we need really to undertake that strong recommendation from our ulama that this is a time of reflection. Don't go home today and let it be a quick thing. This is not a quick thing, this is a reality. Let this really sink in, let this affect you. Take heed of what has happened. We are going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is one narration from Aisha radiallahu anha who said, she said, Ya Rasulullah, we love to meet Allah but we fear death. We love to meet Allah but we fear death. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, you misunderstood. He said that when a person is about to die, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He shows him. He shows him and he sees. He shows him and he sees. And he loves to meet Allah, and then Allah loves to meet him. On the reverse side, there is an individual who Allah, He shows him something, and he hates to meet Allah, and Allah hates to meet him. And as you expect of Allah, that's how you'll find him. That's how you'll find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So alayna, it's incumbent upon us, ayyuha al-ikhwati al-karam, and I'll finish, to really remember and take heed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve him and accept him. And put him in Jannat al-Firdaus.
لا عم لسه عام لسه نوصل لسه لهم ترافيك في فرق ثاني.
Brother, if you want to keep going from the beautiful woods, keep going. There's going to still be delayed. Even when the car turns up, we'd like to wait next 10-15 minutes for all the other people yet to arrive. So please, if you want to keep going, please, the beautiful words.
Well, to be honest, if the father, I'm not sure if
بدي اقول كلمه
قولها يا حبيبي.
سامحوا ولا تزعلوا اهلكم، الله يرضى عليك، كونوا مرضيين مثله.
برافو عليك.
هذا اكثر شيء فيني اقوله.
Allah يسامحه.
The father asks, he's all forgive him. And he's all take care of your parents as well.
This is from the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, where he stood at the graveside of an individual and he said, forgive your brother, فَإِنَّهُ الْآنَ يُسْأَلُ. At this very moment he is being questioned. This was one incident, one narration that was narrated from the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, that this is from the prophetic tradition, that we forgive our brethren, brothers and sisters who have passed before us. رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لَنَا وَلِإِخْوَانِنَا الَّذِينَ سَبَقُونَ بِالْإِيمَانِ. That we forgive those who have passed us, our brothers and sisters who have passed previously. So this is from one of the Sunnah. And what the Hajj said is very true. What the Hajj said is very, very true. And it strikes at the heart of being not only a good person, but a good son. But a good person and a good son. And be a murdi, have that characteristical trait where not only your parents are pleased with you, but your community is pleased with you. That when you leave this world, people say, indeed, we lost somebody who was an asset to our community. We lost an asset to our community. Look at the people around you. Look at how many people are here. This person has touched many lives. And that's an indicator. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, how do you know that there is a good sign of an individual? The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, those who testify. On one particular occasion, there were a people who were speaking about a man who passed. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he was hearing what they were saying. And he said, they have bore witness, they have testified. Also, given what the people say about this individual is an indication of that person's destination. If you have a look around the number of lives that this person has touched, and this comes from having that good characteristical trait. That's why the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمُ الْأَخْلَاقِ. Use this life, may be the best you can be. Leave a legacy behind where people will say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve his soul. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept him. Leave a legacy behind. Leave a legacy behind. Wallahi, let me tell you something. Your heart is not made of Teflon. What you see and what you experience and what you do in this world is affected. One of the biggest roots to all evils, they say, is the love of this world. Many good in this world, but often a person is dominated by those desires. Be careful, wallahi, my brothers, take this as an advice. Be careful. In this world, if you want to be safe, you need to protect your heart. That's why the Prophet alayhi salatu he said, "Ala wa inna fil jasad mudgha." Verily, in the heart, there's a morsel. There's a morsel. If it's good, everything will be good, and if it's bad, everything is bad. Ala wa hiya al-qalb. It's the heart. You need to protect the heart. If you want to produce an apple from a seed, you need to nurture it and provide the right environment. So having that right environment in your life is so important. You can't have bad company. And you can't be around the wrong thing and expect that everything will go right for you. Those who have bad company, those who are on a trajectory down a base and low path, what do you think you'll find at the end of the day? You need to make your target Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to make your target and your hero the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Which man is greater than Muhammad? Which man is greater than Muhammad? Which man? Which man is worthy of following other than Muhammad? But look who I decide to choose. I decide to choose that person. I decide to imitate that individual who's away from Allah. I see that person who's away from Allah and I want to imitate that person. I see that person who assaults other people and oppresses other people and puts it over other people. And I make that person my hero. I make that person my idol. Is that person greater than Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam? Would that person take you to Jannah or would that person take you to destruction? Look, the person who ever endeavored to walk that path, any person who endeavors to walk that path, there will not be khair for that individual. If you want khair in your life, use that man Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. That's the man that you use. He is your hero. He is your guide. He is your uswa. He is the one you should be imitating. He is the one you should look up to. He is the one that you should be looking at. He is the man. There was no one greater in this, who ever lived and ever walked on this earth better or greater than Muhammad alayhi salatu. And on the day of judgment, when all of the prophets and all of the messengers are standing, he says, Ana sayyidi wala adam wala fakhar. I am the greatest and the best of creation and the son of man, and I say that without pride. Who is more worthy than Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam? Allah sent him. Allah sent him. He is khairul khalq, rahmatan lil alamin. On the day of judgment, when you might be needing assistance, the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, when all other prophets will say that I have done this and I have done this and I cannot make shafa'a, I cannot intercede for you, The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam will say, Ana laha, ana laha. It's a rigorously authenticated hadith in Bukhari. He will say, I am the man for the job. I am the man for the job. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam would act as your barrister. Can you imagine the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is representing you? Do you think that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam will lose in his case if he is representing you? And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam will say, Allahumma ummati ummati. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, Ishfa' liman ahbab. Make shafa'ah for whoever you love. This is the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Why do I idolize that person who will take me down the wrong path? Why do I hang him up on a pedestal? Why? Where is Muhammad in my life alayhi salatu wasalam? Why aren't I following him? Can I say that aloud? Can I really say that aloud and saying I am not a follower of Muhammad? Who can say that aloud? Who can say that aloud? It would be embarrassing. It would be a humiliation of oneself.